Imagine that we drained the oceans, let the water go, and revealed the secrets of the seabed. We can do this. With the help of the latest underwater scanning technologies, we have the ability to turn precise data into a three-dimensional image, which will help study the deep oceans at an unprecedented level. We will be able to see ancient sunken cities, shipwrecks, and enormous treasure-laden ships. We will see the largest mountains in the world, underwater natural disasters. We will find out what secrets the Bermuda Triangle holds. We will look at the underwater infrastructure created by our civilization. We will find out who lives at the bottom of the ocean. And much more. So, thanks to detailed sonar data and modern 3D modeling technologies, today we will find out what can be seen at the bottom of the ocean if it were drained. Even though today we are gathered to examine the ocean floor, our story begins not in the ocean, but on the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico, where an amazing discovery was made: karst sinkholes, also known as cenotes. Formed as a result of the erosion of soft limestone, karst sinkholes can reach depths of hundreds of meters. Scientists have discovered that many cenotes are connected by deep underground channels. But the most interesting part is, if you look at the arrangement of the karst sinkholes from above, you can see an unusual pattern. The cenotes form a contour that resembles the outline of a giant crater. Most likely it was formed as a result of the impact of an incredibly large meteorite, and then karst sinkholes developed along the crater's boundaries. Today, millions of years after the meteorite impact, the impact site is hidden not only beneath the waters of the Gulf of Mexico, but also under a layer of sedimentary rock that reaches several hundred meters in depth. And the only way to determine the age of this crater is to study its rock formations. The year 2016, a team of scientists from different countries began drilling through the ocean floor when they suddenly discovered a layer of molten rock indicating a meteorite impact. Analysis showed that the crater is 66 million years old, and what a coincidence, we cannot find dinosaur remains anywhere in the world that are younger than 66 million years. The scanning data obtained helped to create, for the first time, a three-dimensional model of the crater that is now hidden deep beneath the Earth's surface and water. Thanks to this, we will understand how one meteorite was able to wipe out all the dinosaurs on the planet. First of all, it is necessary to drain the bay, and as the water recedes, it reveals the continental shelf that stretches along the coastline. The relief of the bay's bottom is covered with a thick layer of sediments, and the crater is still hidden under thousands of meters of sedimentary rock. Therefore, we need to eliminate it. By removing layer by layer, we travel back 66 million years into the past to find the heart of the crater, a place that no living creature has seen for 66 million years. The crater is striking in its size, reaching 200 kilometers in width and 1 kilometer in depth. As a result of the explosion, a ring of debris from the Earth's crust formed around it. Now, thanks to studying the crater with the latest technologies, it has been possible to determine the size, speed, and angle of the meteorite's impact. Its width was more than 10 kilometers, and its speed reached over 40,000 kilometers per hour. However, that's not all. At the site of the crater, there were 120,000 cubic kilometers of rock, which, as a result of the explosion, was ejected into the atmosphere, marking the beginning of a destructive chain of events. The impact created a hole of incredible size in the Earth, and all the pulverized rock was thrown into the upper layers of the atmosphere. It orbited the planet, gained an unimaginable amount of potential gravitational energy, and fell back, heating the atmosphere like an oven and burning everything in its path. Virtually all life within a 1,000-kilometer radius was destroyed by the explosion. However, those who were farther away also had to face destruction. It was not easy. Giant waves crashed onto the shoreline, reaching heights of several hundred meters or even a kilometer as they hit the coast and rolled across the continent. Surviving animals could hear the approaching tsunami but could see nothing in the darkness. And it was dark for one simple reason. At the site where the meteorite struck, there were rocks with a high sulfur content. As a result of the impact, the sulfur began to evaporate and rise high above the Earth. The sulfur reacted with atmospheric gases, leading to the formation of atmospheric sulfate aerosols, which block sunlight. A deadly cloud loomed over the Earth and the planet began to cool. And yet, it might not have been so bad if not for one but. The asteroid fell at a very steep angle of about 60 degrees to the horizon. This is the most dangerous impact scenario as it resulted in the maximum amount of dust entering the atmosphere. And if it had hit the ground at an angle of 15 degrees, the amount of dust, carbon dioxide, and sulfur compounds released would have been about 3 times less. And if it had fallen vertically, it would have been 10 times less. A detailed study of the crater revealed an explanation of how its shape made the sulfate cloud even more deadly. The northeastern edge of the crater is open. Here, the bottom went deeper, and the water absorbed part of the impact, but 30 minutes later, the water began to rush back rapidly. The water vapor formed as a result of the tsunami mixed with sulfur, creating even more gases that block sunlight. Marine plankton lost the ability to photosynthesize nutrients, and soon the foundation of the food chain was destroyed. Animals began to starve. The lack of sunlight meant that the average temperature on the planet dropped by 26 degrees Celsius. For a long 16 years, Only the most resilient plants and animals managed to survive. The dinosaurs perished. Nevertheless, one question remains open. Was this disaster one of a kind? The asteroid crater is not the only thing we would see if we drained the Gulf of Mexico. After all, today there are more oil rigs in the basin of this gulf than on the rest of the planet combined. The fact is, this gulf is considered one of the richest oil deposits on the planet. And that's because 300 million years ago, there were ancient swamps here. Now it is hidden deep beneath layers of water and rock. As a result of high pressure and temperatures, all the organic matter of this swamp turned into oil. And now a huge number of oil workers have flocked here. The scale of the built infrastructure can only be understood by removing all the water from the gulf. As it recedes, we can see the branching network of pipes necessary to extract oil from the deepest wells. The oil pipeline stretches for hundreds of kilometers along the seafloor. It's hard to believe, but 70,000 kilometers of pipes have been laid on the floor of the Gulf of Mexico. But we continue to remove water from this gulf, and soon small slave trader ships appear before our eyes, having sunk several hundred years ago due to a severe storm. But these are all small fry. The big game awaits us ahead as we continue to drain the gulf further. Before us appears the well-preserved steamship from the World War II era, Robert E. Lee. It was sunk by a German submarine. The final moments afloat of this ship become clear. The bridge broke, unable to withstand the pressure of the water as the vessel began to sink. The deck gun at the stern is in a neutral position. This indicates that the attack was swift and unexpected. 2 lifeboats lie next to the ship. This means that the ship went down so quickly that the crew had no chance to lower them into the water. Scientists have calculated that the Robert E. Lee sank in 3 minutes. Many people lost their lives. But don't worry, if we continue to drain the Gulf of Mexico, we will see that justice exists in this world, as does instant karma. From the darkest depths of the Gulf emerges one of the most astonishing discoveries, the submarine U-166, the very one that sank the ship Robert E. Lee. But why did this submarine also sink? The fact is, the steamship Robert E. Lee was not sailing alone. He was accompanied at a distance by the anti-submarine ship Patrol Craft 566, and the submarine crew was unaware of this. So while through the periscope, the submarine was observing the sinking ship, it was suddenly attacked by the anti-submarine ship. When it was detected by the sonar, it was already too late. The submarine did not have time to dive deep enough. Very quickly, the hunter itself became the prey. 2 depth charges were launched at the submarine, and it went to the bottom. In the steamship wreck, 22 people died, and on the submarine, all 52 crew members perished.
That's all for now.
Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and watch the 2 previous videos.